We're live. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that happened. Everyone, thank you so much for sticking around.
We're back.
Finding this super secret hidden link. We're back to talk Heroes of the Horn. There's too many dangling participles to let die. We're trying to get Jansen back. Oh,
all right.
So let me respond
on Twitter.
He needs a new link. He's like backstage, but he's in the wrong link. All right.
Yeah, I had to leave the other studio.
All right. So hey, talk amongst yourselves. All right. So we're talking Heroes of the Horn.
Yeah. So I had a question that's kind of completely jumping off the diving board.
Okay, let's go.
So we don't know how old the horn is. We maybe assume it was made in the first age, but was it made in the first age, or is it just present in all ages of the wheel?
Well,
go ahead.
Okay, so in talking metaphysics with Matt Hatch, the Dusty Wheel, at the end of the 7th age, everything is like reset.
Oh,
and so that's why we're not like buried in Terrio, right? Stuff made out of Quindiar, because everything is reset. So things like that, I think it might persist all the way through the 7th age, but somebody has to make it in the first age. And according to what we know, it was definitely made before the 2nd age.
Right. Okay, so it was made in the first age. We kind of sounds like that's been established. So then my question is, the first age is our current timeline.
Yes.
If the horn were to be blown, theoretically, in our current timeline, who would show up?
Lou Ferrigno.
I say Achilles.
Okay.
I would say LeBron James.
Okay.
I think we'd get Alexander the Great.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I want Marcus Aurelius. He's my bro with stoicism. So yeah.
Pontius Pilate.
Well, what's interesting is when
he would be Tavern. Sorry, go ahead.
We were talking about people who are bound to the wheel but not heroes. I think you might get someone who is not a hero of the horn because they're not a fighter. So you might get someone like Mother Teresa, who is like a soul that gets bound to the wheel but is not called out by the horn. And so every age you might get Mother Teresa like figures.
But isn't everybody bound to the
wheel? No, but I mean a specific soul that is like born out for a purpose each time.
Well, that'd be Tavern.
Well,
would it not?
Well, I mean, like Skeeter says,
I liked his idea of Tavern light.
In the first age, if you blew the horn, you just get like 4 people showing up, right?
Well, gee.
Or do you get like is that?
Yeah, there's not going to be as many because nobody's proved.
Is the ram like wiped clean after the 7th age?
I think that's what Zul was saying.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, there is something about that. But
there's also
Brandon Sanderson brought up. You keep talking, I'll find.
Okay, but there's also this notion that the Dark One creates more change as each turning of the wheel happens, chaos is heightened. There's more change as the. Yeah, I remember, again, Matt Hatch, that fucker. Everyone, Jansen, Lashley-Haynes.
Jansen! Yay!
All right.
Welcome back.
All right.
Okay.
My bad. I'm a puppet with big, fat felt fingers, which is so many double entendres right there.
We still love you, Ryan.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna drink to that.
Yeah, drink. So, Jansen, what we were talking about is... Oh, God, remind me.
Too much way of belief.
Horn is created in the first age. If it was theoretically blown in our current timeline, who would show up?
Yeah, and how many would show up?
Well,
yeah,
I said Lou Ferrigno would show up.
I think that more of the political type of people, like Anla the Wise Counselor, would show up.
Okay, yeah. See, I said we would get like Alexander the Great.
Yeah. Okay. Alexander the Great. So we're talking about real people.
Yeah.
Real people.
Okay. Real people. That's
Marcus
great.
Aurelius is my vote.
Huh. I think Nikola Tesla.
Okay,
he's
so they
brilliant.
gotta actually fight when they show up. Not just be, passive, not just be like a creator.
Yeah.
They actually have to fight
Well, they actually have to fight.
if they're called by the horn.
Well,
Not just people who are like spun out again and again and again, because I would love to see a creative, brilliant person like Nikola Tesla spun out again and again.
Well, don't we see him in the books? What's his name in the books? Come on, Jansen.
Herod fell.
Yeah, right? Right? Why not?
Well, that brings up the question.
I mean, they were
what
both
is a
murdered
hero?
for their knowledge. Ooh, shit.
True.
So we have to
brings up what is a hero?
Joan of Arc.
I mean, Joan of Arc, yes.
Okay, well,
she
they're
died for her
specifically
beliefs.
spun out to fight.
Joan of Arc. Yeah.
The horn calls fighters. Gotcha.
The horn calls fighters. That's why I'm saying there are those who are bound to the wheel who are spun out as the pattern needs
Yeah,
them.
so Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, both of them were like both obviously will spin out.
Brutal. But would Genghis Khan fight for the light? Really? I just don't feel it.
That's what I was thinking, because I thought of Khan as well.
Genghis
So here's something that Brandon Sanderson.
I mean, Bruce Lee, like.
Oh, we got to vote for Leonidas from Sparta from MaTsDaGgerX.
Okay, Sparta, go for it.
Go with that.
Okay, so this is something that we're talking about, like the ages, like do the same souls stay if they get attached once? Do they stay attached when it goes from the 7th age back to the 1st age, like over and over and over again? How does this work? And so Brandon said one thing that specifically came up once was me wanting to delve more into the Heroes of the Horn. The wheel has always turned and time is infinite. If people can occasionally be added to the horn, like Jane Farstrider, that would mean that the number of people tied to the horn is also infinite, unless people get unbound as well as bound. And I wanted to explore this idea in conversation only. This isn't a plot point, but was persuaded by Team Jordan that RJ wanted nobody ever to be unbound, and that exploration in this direction would go against his vision for the world.
Ah, interesting.
Love it. Thank you, Dana. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you got to be a heck of a hero for the light in order to get bound.
Okay, so can we talk about Jane Farstrider?
Yes.
And how he became bound to the wheel. He has such a great arc.
Right? Yes.
I've never paid as much attention to his story on my rereads. But every time I come to it, I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh my God.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
He
was redeemed. Yes. What did he do in Malkiri? Do we know? He betrayed someone or something.
No, he didn't betray.
No. Okay.
He caught. He went after and tracked down and caught Lane. And
he
brought
caught the
Lane
dark
in.
friend.
Yes, he caught Lane and brought him in, and then Lane was killed in combat by Lan's father.
Was there somebody Fairheart who was leading him astray as well? Who was an actual
Fairheart
dark friend?
In the Blight, leading, because he made a bet with.
I thought that was Lane. I thought that was Lane that died in the Blight, and it was Fairheart that died in combat.
One of the two.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. You're right. I think it's Fairheart. You're right. And Farstrider, who was Jane Charon at the time, caught him. And there's other things about Jane Farstrider I love, though, like his right-hand man that they only mentioned once in the entire.
Who's that?
Series. Andrel.
What?
Wait.
Yes.
Not our
Andrel. That's right.
Yes. There is one sentence that says when he's talking about Bravara, you remind me of Jane. And remember, Androl, his whole thing was travel.
Yeah, and like learning with different people along the way.
Oh my god!
And he mentions it reminds Pavara reminds me of Jane, and the only Jane is Jane Farstrider. This is why I love it. I love it.
Okay,
so who is Jane then? Is it Pavara or Androl?
No, Pavara reminded Androl of Jane. He says
so what does that mean though?
Androl hung with Jane.
It reminds him of family.
Androl hung out with Jane Farstrider.
Yes.
Well, the second time, we actually hear about Jane twice in the first book. He was the person who wandered into the Ogier setting and had a message for the Amyrlin seat about the Eye of the World. So one of the hints to going to the Eye of the World was Jane Farstrider wandering into an Ogier setting with a message for the Amyrlin about the Eye of the World. Or something. Like he was kind of scrambled, and we find out that he was a tool of Ishamael.
Oh,
and then he was compulsed by Grendel, and the first time we see him physically is when you first go to Grendel's lair where she has all these naked people cavorting. There's this one old man, and that's Jane Farstrider.
How do we know that though? I mean, he's just described as somebody who wouldn't typically be one of her people.
Because he's the same old man that they talk about in The Crown of Swords.
You're killing me.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to read
I'm
gonna have to read it a fifth fucking time.
We were wondering about that on the First Time Reader show. Who is this old man?
Yes, that's what it is. And the thing is that Allie from Wheel Takes, who is a first time reader, picked up on it immediately. She's like, "Who is this old man?" She goes, "I bet that's who that is."
She said, "I bet it's Jane Farstrider."
Yes.
What
blew my mind. I didn't even notice this old man.
All right,
I had to point him out to me.
I'm still learning stuff after 4 times reading, but my first time was when the books were published, so it was years between books.
Yeah, because I started reading in '92, so I kind of a long time between books.
Yeah, and I would go back and read the previous book and then read the next book, but that doesn't always help because you didn't always have the character's story in the previous book and then going forward. So it was very disjointed, and I didn't know about the author dying until I read the preface, and I was like, oh my god, I don't pay attention to the people that make the products that I love. I don't pay attention to rock artists or that. So I was just reading the books for the enjoyment of reading the books. And so it took me a few years to finally say, okay, I got to tackle this thing again. And then I was just reading it and trying to remember the characters. And all these characters that might not even get named are you can't, if they don't have a name, I'm not even going to try, the second time through. So not until the third and fourth time did I really start to get what an actual character arc was.
So let me ask you this question, because I can't figure out who this character is. So we figured that, who was the woman who they found dying in the waste? And
one of the maidens?
The maidens followed her until she died, but they wanted to hear her story. They brought her back they nursed her back to health as far as they could.
That was Tigrane.
No. I think you're conflating two stories, because one is there were maidens who came back from the Blight and were killed off by Trollocs or whatever, and one of them actually crawled to a tinker camp and she delivered a message.
You're right.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
It's a maiden. I don't think we ever get a name.
We don't get a name.
She dies though, right?
She
does die.
She dies. But she didn't want to.
Jansen, do you want to act out that last scene, the dying scene of this maiden?
Dying maiden.
Okay.
I couldn't do it as well as Tigrane Mantiar did.
Right? Yeah, that was Okay, that was acting heaven, right?
It was phenomenal. Yeah. I definitely believe she'll be back in another backflash of Tigrane with probably with the Aes Sedai, what's her name, with Chitara Moroso. And I think
that would be great. I would like that.
I want to see her leaving Karhian, right?
No, Camelin.
No, she's from Andor.
She's from Camelin. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from Camelin. She was. And the you know what? Let me ask you guys this: how come they never ever mention that Moraine is Elaine's aunt? That's her niece. So why don't they ever talk about that?
They don't mention it, right? Because Moraine doesn't mention anything, bro. Like Moraine doesn't give anything away.
Her half
She's
brother.
The best.
Her half brother is Elaine's father, correct?
Right.
Yes.
The one script leak we got, the one with Gawain and some other character, Gawain says, "Oh, Moraine, the aunt that ruined my life." That's in one of the just released audition.
I did not see that.
Yeah. Now we don't know
the aunt that ruined my life.
Yes.
What the fuck?
if you find out the
the
audition tape,
you have to believe in the show. They're going to have to mention.
It may not. Yeah, it may not be in the show, but they have that line in one of the audition.
Okay, so if that happens,
that's awesome.
In season 2, I am definitely going to be like, I heard about that from ElfWitch.
Yes.
I can't believe I know something you guys don't. That's amazing.
That's awesome. That's just because there's so much to know.
Right. There's so much. So they could bring it up in the show in that way from Gawain is where that came from. But they don't mention it in the books much at all. And I heard a breakdown of like the relationships, like all the royal houses are related to each other in all these different ways. But
if they were farmers, they wouldn't be. Remember?
Yes.
If they were farmers, would they be related? And she's like, farmers?
It would not be cousins.
All the houses are farmers?
How can you say that?
That they wouldn't be.
Right.
God, I remember the text perfect.
All right, do we have some more horn?
Yeah, horn stuff.
Horn stuff.
Oh, yeah, horn stuff. All right. So we learned from Brigitte that the heroes of the Horn are basically just kind of chilling in Teleranriad before they're spit out. What does that tell us about the nature of Teleranriad? Its function, its metaphysics. Let's get into it. Why is this a thing?
I think Teleranriad is the source of most of the power in the world, even that they don't even know about. I think it's the biggest mystery and the most powerful tool, I think, in the whole series. I think it's used more than we even know.
I find it fascinating when Egwene goes into her, she falls asleep and then she goes into that in-between stage, like it's between the world and Teleranriad, that the specks of light, and that's where all the people of the world that are alive are sleeping. And it's part of Teleranriad, but not really.
Teleranriad actually, I think, goes across everything. Like, I think it actually touches the real world. You have that gap. Yeah, that gap, and then
that gap is like all the people that are living right now, kind of in a sphere around the real world, and then you go into Teleranriad. It's much broader. Yeah.
What does it say about Teleranriad that dreamers can see the future?
I don't know. It's interesting. In Teleranriad, the pattern there is malleable, so that you can change things locally, and you can take part of it and make it into a vacuole and really mold it yourself. You can drag people into it, and that only the things which are most permanent show up consistently within Teleranriad. So the fact that it's malleable, maybe they somehow get to a certain point that the dreamers do, that they can then read a little bit of the pattern into the future. I don't know how that works. I've always wondered.
I mean, is Teleranriad like a ongoing DVR where you can just kind of reverse time if you need it? Like something about Tellerandriel and time is what is really I'm focused on. Why are you able to like? What does it say about time? Like, why are you able to dip in there and make really very accurate predictions? And if you're a dreamer,
well, time in Tellerandriel runs different, and they never can predict whether it's running faster or slower. That's part of the issue in Tellerandriel. I mean, when Egwene travels from where was she? The Waste to Saladar. Kyrian. She was in Kyrian and goes to Saladar on Bella and starts taking these big leaps. And she gets there
that was weird.
She didn't know how long it was going to take. She just knew it would be faster.
And remember, but she did enter it in the flesh at that point.
Yes,
true. But again, you don't know how fast time is moving when you're.
Well, how about this? So, is anyone jumping into Is anyone jumping into Tellerandriel and learning about the past?
Think so.
I don't think so.
Right? Why is it you can only access the future in Tellerandriel?
That's I don't know. Good question. I wonder if dreamers, because dreamers and dreamwalkers are not the same thing, because you can be a dreamwalker and definitely not have the capacity to channel. We do have dreamwalkers who are Aiel who don't channel, and
Slayer,
but dreamers, I don't know if they need to be channelers or not.
No.
And dreamers, I don't think they do either. And I think they have some sort of.
Well, do we have a dreamer? Do we have an example of a dreamer who doesn't channel?
Yes.
Who? Jansen.
Bear.
5, 4. What?
Bear.
God, you fucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I got
you
man.
can be a dreamwalker and not a dreamer, but if she could see, some of the future, which is maybe how they knew Moiraine would be in the Stone of Tyr, and they needed to send a message to her, and they knew like a couple of them got a little bit different viewpoints of this. So they were like, well, if this happens, then this definitely happens. And if that, but I don't know if those things were from their own original testing when they went into Rodion, or if those are things that they saw in the dream. Like, do we know that?
I think so.
The information they have about Moiraine? Because Egwene has these dreams and she can tell them apart, like this one's a significant dream. It's not just regular dreaming, but she can't necessarily interpret them.
Yeah, because she actually
have and that's not in Tellerandriel, that's in her dreams.
Yeah, she starts having real, true dreams in
book 2.
By book 2. Yeah, book 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, book 2.
But also like she's so young. Is this just the function that she's just like only later on is she able to just kind of dream it and then make accurate? Right?
Well, dreamers see the future differently, also, depending on who the dreamer is. Perrin sees windows when he goes to Tellerandriel, and he doesn't go to the lights and everything. He sees pictures that are right in front of him that tells him what's happening. So,
but is those things that are happening in the future or things that are happening currently?
I thought that was current. I thought he had like Vimeo of all like
current, because we also
live streams.
Yeah, Ishmael did not see the future.
Right.
Ishmael?
Yes, he did not see the future. So, different people had different talents in the dream even.
I find it interesting just talking about this, how they describe Egwene's dreaming and knowing that it's a true dream, and Min's visions and knowing if it's a true vision.
Well,
so they both have different kinds of seeing, but if they know what it's about, then it is going to be true.
Yeah.
Well, and very specifically, Min said like Aes Sedai and Waters always had visions.
Or people that
you mean like images, like
images, yeah. So.
Because Mogideon did too when she,
But it was kind of like fuzzy. She was like, I see something, but I can't really tell what it is. I think the same thing happened when she was looking at Taim.
So my contention is this. So like, why would it be that Aes Sedai and Waters had the most visions or images, when in fact every image that Min sees comes true. So we're talking about the people who you think they're impacting the pattern the most, but are they really doing this all by free choice, or is this predetermined actions that they are going to eventually do?
Well, not all of what Min sees comes true. There's images.
She says that.
But there's more images. Yeah.
She says that to her knowledge, every single one that she has seen that she knew what it was did come true.
And she was tripped up by Moraine, but that was just the big fakey outy. Hey, Moraine's alive, yippee you. But that was to Min's knowledge, that's the only one ever that was wrong was Moraine.
But it wasn't wrong.
And it wasn't.
So she ended up being right. So yeah, like she's batting 1,000 in her understanding.
So are these things connected to DanaLou? I mean, we see Egwene as a dreamer and able to be a dream walker. Are those things?
Well, there's also other things connected to DanaLou, like and at Tarvalin, the test machine that they use.
Oh yeah,
is also connected to DanaLou.
I think Rodion was too.
Must be. The spires. So when the
this is a great comment, DKmoon. Wow, thank you for bringing this up.
Ooh.
And it's really hard to really put together that literally 20% of all Ace Survivor Black. That's a fail rate that no organization ever have.
It might be as high as 30.
You're okay.
Well,
you did some numbers.
I think that's just in the timeline of the book.
But what does it mean that Min's never reveal any of the Black Cauldron? Because she's employed by the Aberlin or at Elida at some point, right?
Well, that being said, she never really has been told whether or not somebody's good.
Good point.
Or light, like
that's a good point. Yeah, she's not there to judge. Yeah. Interesting.
But
so she might have seen visions that are connected to Black Cauldrons, but why would she be able to interpret that? That's not her
so
worldview.
And so is dangerous to you, but we don't know.
She knows if somebody's bad. Remember when she saw Nicola and Arena? She immediately said those two are bad news.
I just want to say yes. MaTsDaGgerX, yes. It's a friendly. We're friendly on all angles, yes. Whatever gets you through the night is all right.
So when Robert Jordan uses that DanaLou window tool quite a bit to tell us where the boys are in relationship to each other. Because they think of each other and they get a vision of
the colors swirl and they see them, right?
Swirl and they see Rand talking to a couple people, so you know that it's at the same time as another scene that might be in a totally different book.
Is that like an involuntary Zoom link?
Yeah, right. An unintentional.
They accidentally butt dial each other.
Yeah, Jesus.
What's going on?
Dana, that's so funny.
Do you think the show's going to do that when one of them thinks about each other?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It would be so hard.
I don't think so. I never understood the relevance of it. I never understood how it fit, like cosmologically.
Well, it does show how connected they are. As the three legs of a stool.
So I have a whole in that to that end though, like that's just basic like Hindu bodhisattva meditative transcendental like communication. Like that's what many people believe is actually you can achieve through hard work in this lifetime. Most of the world outside of this thinks it's quackery. I have this idea that Robert Jordan's trying to explain all of this. Like these people are trying to learn how to channel in our age, and they've achieved abilities that are real, that are channeling akin, but we have, as a society, scrubbed them out as awkward and weird, and we don't want to deal with them. And hence, the third age never got to channeling, even though there were many, many people trying.
The first age?
We're the first age, yeah, baby. Yeah, first age, baby. Yeah, hence, the first age never was able to get to the point where we could channel them because we were restrictive, oppressive, neurotic, right, oppressed people, and Robert Jordan's like stating that. And then the next age was able to be way better than us. Like, look at this, like almost like a backlash to our stupid masochistic, like macho world, right? Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, yeah, and then they were like, everyone's like cooperating, and they're like being able to like get to heights that we were never able to do. So, and I also believe on some level that he thinks this age is going to end in nuclear holocaust, which is the ages that end in fire and ice, which is the nuclear freeze. So I think was talking about this a while back. He thinks the first age is going to end in nuclear holocaust. The second age is going to be like, well, we got to learn those lessons. We're going to be better. They learn a channel. Wow! Because the entire society is more open. And right. And then we all know what happens to Age of Legends. So I think this is what we're getting at, in that those colors are literally what like Hindu gurus are like claiming that they can do like for hundreds of years.
Well, I wonder if that's going to be addressed in the book by Michael Livingston, which comes out in November.
The Origins,
the Origins book.
That'd be awesome.
He's talking about like the origins of where Robert Jordan gets these various parts of his world, and maybe he will address the things that come from Hinduism.
Yep.
I don't know if he'll go that deep and pick on that particular piece.
Yeah, but God damn it, Rand in the end is literally a bodhisattva. Like he shows more like signs of like a Hindi bodhisattva than the Jesus Christ narrative.
Yeah,
in so many levels, and like the bodhisattva is there to help humanity like free themselves from the yoke of the time circle, the circle of time.
And I mean, Piran's hammer, just naming it Mjolnir. I mean, that's what Thor's hammer's name is.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Oh, Barbara Jordan borrowed from so many different, areas. We've got the quest for the Grail, which is the quest for the Horn. We've got the, transcendental. Coming around the wheel. He just kind of pushed it all together. I think his commentary on the first age is that we're too tool oriented, and maybe the second age uses the powers of the mind more as a focus. And so using the developmental abilities of our ESP that we can do more with would be the second age. And then the third age,
I mean, I've tried to do things with my mind, but it never works.
I know. Isn't it something? Anyhow,
yeah, that is noted.
But he uses many different religious traditions, more than I can even say. I only recognize a few.
I cannot wait for that book to come out. And if I have no connection with Tor Books or Michael Livingston, but if you have not pre-ordered that book, go do it. It is going to be. I got a Raffo at WotCon. I was sitting next to Maria. Simmons. Who is Team Jordan and still works for Harriet as an assistant. And we were talking about the dreams and prophecies and foretellings that are unfulfilled in the books.
Oh, and I haven't watched the panel yet.
Yes. And so we were talking about that, and we were talking about one, and she goes, I'm so glad you asked that. Raffo. And I went, is she trying to tell us it's in the book and we just need to reread the book? And then she was like, no. Raffo, something significant is happening in November. Raffo.
Oh, that's Origins. Raffo Origins.
And I was like, yes, we're getting new information, new material. We're like, yes.
That would be amazing.
Speaking of things we never heard, I want to know what happens to Faelane.
Fail?
No.
Fail?
Faelane. There's Theodrin and
Faelane.
Oh, Faelane. Gotcha.
Yes, because remember, Min said she's a nasty person. I can't believe she's going to have such a great future.
How do you spell her name?
That's right. Faolin.
Remember, she told Elaine and Nynaeve, she called them golden children and said, I'm working on something that maybe not too far as bad as what you guys have been working on. So she has a big future ahead of her, which is great. So they never said anything about it.
That's cool.
Seriously amazing.
And then there's all the rods that they found that they still don't know.
Well, it says she went to the tower to bond an Ashaman.
To the Black Tower.
Well, I thought that was Theodrin.
Faelane did.
Not Theodrin?
Did Theodrin? Oh,
wait a second.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Look up Theodrin, though.
Look up Theodrin.
They kind of hung together in Saladar, maybe.
Because she was going to pick up one of the Ashaman from the Two Rivers. The big one.
Well, Faelane actually went to the Black Tower, and she was ordered by Lyrell.
Oh, they both were. They both
only bond one.
Each one both there. They were both there. They were both there.
Okay, I'm looking up Theodrin.
They were both there. Theodrin and Faelane were both there. Now that I remember, because both
yes, they were part of the embassy to the Black Tower to bond warders.
Yep.
But did not choose one there. Theodrin didn't.
Everyone, you guys know you're impressed. Don't be shy. Like, why are we not just like, if this is Instagram, it'd just be full of hearts and packages. I think they do packages. I don't know what they do. Big eggplants. Is that what they give you?
Pavara told Androl she's going to take. I forgot what the shaman's name was from the Two Rivers.
Jonath.
She said no, not.
It's Jonath.
Is it? Jonath?
I just read it. It's Jonath.
Okay. Yeah, she said
had it in her mind. She didn't want to get one from the Black Tower because she had one in her mind that she had her eye on, and it was.
She wanted an innocent boy.
Yeah.
But he was
and
very.
So she got Androl.
Yeah.
Who is my favorite character? I love him.
Oh, for real? Yeah. So for reals, your favorite?
He's my favorite. If you're gonna talk the main guys, my favorite main guy is Matt, because I look at when I read characters, I think who am I the most like?
Mm-hmm.
Ask any one of my friends or my wife or anybody, I'm the most like Matt for sure.
Oh, interesting. I saw you as a Bran Alvear.
Like,
I love to gamble. Love to gamble.
Oh, what's your game?
Poker.
Okay, yeah. I don't even know her. Sorry.
And in fact, the reason why I'm on this show right now is because of poker.
Okay, do tell.
Do tell.
During COVID, I met about 20 people that I had never met before online, and we all decided to start a poker group.
Okay.
One of the guys' name is Phil. Phil introduced me to Ryan.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
This is the way I got on. Yeah, Phil. And me and Phil are still great friends. And we still play poker sometimes, too.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Well, get me in on that poker shit. I'm the worst. You just take me and I'll get angry and start throwing shit around, but it'll be online and you won't even feel it.
We play like every other night.
God, I get so mad when I lose on poker. I seriously just want to throw humans around.
There was a poker tournament at WotCon. You gotta come.
Yes. Yeah, Jansen. Yeah, you're missing out. And JordanCon too. Jansen, you gotta go to both.
Yeah, Friday night poker.
No, everyone. Keep telling me. Here's the deal.
And like,
I know.
Yeah.
Jansen just needs to keep appearing on the show. Everyone will start getting to know him, and you're gonna be a part of this shit, bro.
I'm coming to
everyone loves you. JordanCon. No, JordanCon first, WotCon second. There's 2 cons a year.
From here on out, I'll be there.
Oh man.
You have to.
All right.
This is one of the biggest parts of my life is this series of books. It's literally, I feel, and I know this sounds so cliche, but I feel like some of the characters are my friends.
That's not a cliche at all.
No, not at all.
Yes, no, there's certain things I just can't even talk about live because I'm just going to start crying. Like, it's not even for real. It's like, I have a hard time. I'm so connected to these people in my mind. I relate to you. And the first thing I ever did for the channel is I made this kind of teaser video, and the last thing I put on the screen was the quote is, because we love these characters as much as you do. And for me, it's always been about the characters. From the very beginning of this channel, it's been about the characters. I love them. They're in my heart and minds, just like you, for reals.
I mean, I even love the innkeepers. They all have they have different personalities.
Skinny, fat, yeah.
Skinny ones, the fat ones. I love them. Like Basil Gill, awesome character. I mean, I just you know, and he's speaking as an actor. There's so many characters that you can encompass and become.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're reading, it's different. But when you have a character who's an innkeeper that's on a show, that show, the production lasts for a long time, and you get to encapsulate yourself with those characters.
Yeah.
And so, for me, like, if I was even cast as an innkeeper, it would be like everything in my heart, you know, because I'd get to work on that production. I'd get to actually feel what the actors are feeling about the other character. Oh my god!
Oh, I can't even believe it. Yeah.
You know, you have Andral. You have Andral, who's like a tertiary character, whatever, secondary, tertiary character, who is your favorite. And if I could play one character on there, it would be Satala Anan, who is a female innkeeper in Abu Dar, and has such a great arc and story, and there's so much richness there, and she gets involved with Matt, and she gets involved with Elaine and Nynaeve, and you know, I love all of that.
ElfWitch, you're next. Who are you going to play? Think about it.
Who are you going to be, ElfWitch?
There's even characters like Rosella, who people would love to play. Who? Like Rosella in Abu Dar.
Yes.
Whoever plays that character is going to be getting more roles, trust me.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was to be a secondary character, I would be oh my god!
Wait, why secondary? Choose any.
That's what we're on right now.
I want to be the lady that supports Elaine. Oh, house.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. The one who could have been queen, but
the one who would have been queen.
Oh, the Lady Dylan.
Dylan. Yeah. Good job, Jansen. Yeah.
Ooh, God,
I love that character.
I want to be somebody who is supporting the leader.
Yeah.
And
she's the reason you could believe Elaine is the queen, because Dylan supports her.
Dylan made it happen. She went out and she talked to those young house lords and brought them in, and she was like, "This is what we got. Let's make it work for you, Elaine, because you are legit." And that would be me. I would be Lady Dylan.
Nice, very strong. I like that strong one.
There's a lot of strong ladies, like from Mrs. Corley to so many other ones. I mean, God,
it's amazing. Yeah.
Forest of the kitchens.
Oh my God. And the Chatillons in the Borderlands, and then I forgot what's the name of the lady who runs the Palace in Camelin.
She and the man.
Oh,
I forgot her name.
Nori is the fella.
How much spanking are we going to get in this show when it's all said and done?
No, please, no.
We
don't need that.
Spanking? No.
No spanking.
Maybe
one.
Hey, no one asked, and I hate y'all. But if I were to play a big character in the real time, it would be Bella. Oh yeah, the shaggy brown mare. That'd be me. I'd be the ass end for sure.
I'm still banging my head on.
I on the show already.
Right? Yeah, I was unimpressed. Just as unimpressed as Tamal Thor's.
She's not going to be back either. Tamal Thor is going to be better, trust me, because the actor is too good for them not to be better.
Okay,
he's amazing.
WotCon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the three of us who were at WotCon got to see such a great performance in a deleted scene.
That's right. They
from
haven't released it.
Michael McKelton.
Yes. He's amazing. He was also Lord Bolton.
Yes, I know. And when we saw that he was in the table read, people were like, "Well, who's he going to play?" And I went, "Tam." I was one of the few people, and they were like, "That horrible father is going to play." I'm like, "Yeah, he has it. He has what's needed to play a good Tam."
He is good.
Yeah, and that extended scene that we got to see at the end of WotCon was incredible. I mean, he just gets tears in his eyes, and you just want to hug him.
You do.
Yeah, he's really good when it comes to acting for stakes. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yes. It was just a scene one-on-one with Egwene, and he totally ran away with it and stole it. It was an amazing scene. And I was like, oh, you poor guy. No.
I know. When are they going to release that? Like, I mean, if for viewers or anyone, if you have a virtual pass to WotCon and you watch the closing ceremony, that's where this scene is. So
when they start selling the box set, that's where we're going to get all those.
That's too long. That's too long.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe like a separate deleted scenes, like Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically looks at Egwene, and it's the night after Egwene and Rand. Basically like. Well, I mean, they took over the entire building, so they confiscated the land. They were like, they put like yellow tape around the sides. They don't come in. It's the morning after. He's on a park bench, and she walks up with some honey cakes, and he's like, "Oh, I can't deny any honey cakes." And and he looks at her and he says, "You have his heart. Do not hurt him. He is all I have left." And his eyes are just so teared up. Yeah, and that's the scene. And the last line is, he goes, "He is all I have left." And I almost lost my shit.
Yeah.
Now I know why they took it out.
Why? Well, tell me why. Wait, tell me why.
They gave, because that's too high of a stake to give to Egwene, know what she's going to do.
That makes her the bad person.
They can't
instead of like a woman learning her autonomy. Oh shit!
I think it gave too much weight to Rand, since they wanted to make that more of a mystery as to who the dragon was, and I think that gives too much of foreshadowing as to what might happen to Rand, because they talked about. He says, "Remember that summer you came to live with us on the mountain when the inn burned?" And you talked about how much Karri Thor just loved spending every day with her, and do you remember her? And so she said, "Oh yeah, you must be sad, because remember, Beltane is they showed us, how their connection to the people who have gone on." And so he said, "Yes, but death is a clean cut, and a clean cut, even if it's 3 times as deep, heals better than a tear. So make it a clean cut. You have his heart.
Yeah.
Please be gentle with it, because it's all I have." And I went, "You don't know what's going to happen to him." Oh no. So yeah, it was amazing.
Which is amazing, because in essence, season 1 rested on that relationship. Whether or not they pulled it off successfully, in the end, Rand's talking to Darkwing about fucking Egwene. It'd be like me, like at a job interview, and I'm talking about my girlfriend. But that's what's happening. He's talking about Egwene, and he understood that the manipulation was not working because he knew Egwene's true intentions.
Yeah.
So, which is great, and I love that, and I love the intention of it all. But I still
love that scene.
Yeah,
I love that scene, and I love its foreshadowing to the very end of the book series, and the choice that Rand has to make.
Yeah. What do you think of that scene, Jansen?
I thought that scene was fantastic. I'm just trying to think what was my favorite acting scene. Because my favorite action scene was obviously T-Grain. But I was thinking, one of my favorite scenes, and it wasn't a big
Logain getting stilled. Sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't a big
That's my favorite.
My favorite scene was right after Matt got healed. Because the interaction with Rand and Moraine was the most organic, and you could see their chemistry really well at the end of that. When they started, he said, and what did he say? He said, you could say thank you. And the warmth there, I saw the connection with them.
Awesome.
And I think that's going to hold up a lot with Yosha, and I think that's going to be really, because that relationship in the entire book series is one of the most important.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get a little bit more of that relationship in season 2.
I think we're going to get a really good acting with those
two. Ooh, I got goosebumps.
I know, Jansen, you really laid out. Now, this is a full, crazy spoilery question, so if you don't want to listen to this answer, please duck out. But do you think we're going to have an absence of Moraine? A true absence, like we get in the books?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think they're brave enough to do that?
I think we have to. But I don't think it's coming for like 2 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, that once this show has gotten more established, because right now she's carrying the show.
Yeah. You know, so do you think maybe
that's so funny? I don't see that.
Through 3 seasons, like we'll make it at least through 3 seasons, and maybe the end of season 3 would be when she.
Because of the other characters that are going to be coming in, they're going to help carry it. Like when Katsuin comes in, it's going to help carry this show. Like I said before, I do have some reservations about who they're casting possibly for her, but that's just my heart. And I'm sure whoever they do is going to be great. I was rooting for Kate Mulgrew, but that's okay. I think that whoever plays Katsuin, whoever the other Forsaken are, they're going to definitely help. They're going to be some very strong presences in this show, and I think they're going to help. You know, like Vera Mathwin. That's going to be. I mean, her coming in is going to help get rid of 9/8 a little bit. I mean, get rid of Moraine a little bit.
Well, it'll take the focus off of Moraine, I think, and that's probably Moraine carried season 1. It was obviously focused on her actions and what she had to deal with coming back to the tower and what she had to deal with taking Rand. It was very Moraine focused. So when the world expands, which we know it's going to do, it's going to be great.
Like Alvarian, her character is going to help a huge, because she's literally the bad person in the tower directing everything.
Yeah.
You know, Elida.
Well, I mean, I do.
We're gonna get Elida. We'll see.
I know.
I think
we'll see. Is right, ElfWitch.
That we are getting Elida.
Is that confirmed?
Tower, Elida will be with her.
There are 2.
Okay, she's coming. She came back with a.
I think there are 2 EL names.
Bella.
That was a mistake.
That's okay.
Where are we?
So
EL names, 2 EL names,
like Elaine and Elida, that are coming season 2.
Right, because they came back to the tower with Swan, when she came back to the tower. We just saw her because Swan was in Camelin in the show, and she came back.
Or like she went to Camelin, and then shortly after that, maybe Elida brings Elaine.
You know why she went to Camelin?
To retrieve Elaine.
No. She went to Camelin to settle the deal with, the reason why Gareth Bryn was so mad at her in the first place. Her and Elida worked together in the book at one time when Swan Sanche went to Camelin to talk to Morghese about something happened in,
So they brought that up in the timeline. They brought that into the timeline of the story, because that was previous. That was like 10 years ago in the book.
It was, but I guarantee.
Oh my goodness!
Jesus, right? Jansen again.
That was before Rodrin became king of what is it? What's the city?
Marindi? Is it Marindi?
Yeah.
We're such nerds, and I love it. I love all of you. These beautiful minds.
I love it. Love it.
Do we think we're going to... Okay, so will we get Huron in the show?
No.
I don't think so.
We got Elias, who's going to...
Elias is going to... Okay.
And Elias, I believe, is going to be with Piran from here on out.
I don't think he's going to leave.
Do you think he'll get killed at some point, though?
No. He has to be at the last battle with the wolves, I think.
Okay, so do you think we're going to get Gaul? Because Gaul is with Perrin, starting in book 3.
That's a good question. Because I always thought that at the end, Gaul should have had yellow eyes too. But
I have another thing on that. So there is another casting script with Perrin talking to Aviendha.
Yes.
And Aviendha says, she doesn't say dance the spears, but she says you fight with a sword well.
Dance the swords.
You dance the swords well, Perrin Ibarra. And it sounds like Perrin has saved her in the instance of a battle. And so that introduction is very reminiscent of the introduction with Gaul, but it's with Aviendha instead of Gaul. So we don't know. We're kind of,
and we do get that one shot we got in the behind the scenes of Aviendha fighting someone with the axe. In the background is a cage with someone in it.
Oh,
you think someone's in the cage? I couldn't tell.
I think someone's in the cage.
Okay.
Someone zoomed in on it. I think it was on Nablus' show last Monday, where they zoomed in on the cage, and they're like, I think someone is in that cage. So maybe they have several people in cages.
So do you think that they're going to have Aram continue?
We already have Aram.
I mean, but do you think he's going to continue with Perrin then?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think we'll even if they have to wait until season 3, because Rafe in his last Q&A said that they're going to try to make season 3 follow the Shadow Rising plotline fairly closely, which means we get Perrin in the Two Rivers, and that's where Aram, the guy playing Aram, McCormick, is an amazing actor.
He is fabulous. He is so much more engaging in the show than he was in the book. And honestly, you were talking about favorite scenes. My favorite little 3-second snippet was when Egwene and Aram are dancing, and Egwene's kind of looking around for Perrin, and he's gone, but then she just keeps dancing with Aram, and she's like, well, what's with this song? And she's like, well, maybe you've already found the song. And Aram looks around at all the people having a good time, and you see it from his perspective, this is pretty good.
Yeah,
this is an amazing thing that we do have.
Yeah,
I love that little shot. It's just 5 seconds, and it's just like a whole. You see her opening his eyes, being Tavern, if you will.
The Tinkers are great. I mean, the best monologue in the whole series is Isla.
Isla.
Isla's so good.
Powerful. It was. I was like.
I agree. As an ambassador of the
Way of the Leaf.
Yes. Hell to the when they linked arms and didn't pass him not. Yeah. That was one of the.
They've done things in the show that have made me really love and appreciate characters and groups that I didn't have that much love or respect for or whatever. Like Aram, the way of the Leaf, Leandrin. Oh my gosh. Sister Strongjaw.
Yeah, Sister Strongjaw. Sister Triangle Face.
I mean, the Way of the Leaf is huge. I mean, it goes into the Aiel. It goes into. I mean, that's probably my favorite. I said my favorite chapter from the entire series is still the Road to the Spear.
That's mine as well.
The Road to the Spear. It is so awesome. I can't wait to even see how they imagine that.
Do we think we're going to get? I just have to ask this.
Go, Dana.
Flicker in season 2. God. Because are we even going to get portal stones?
We're not getting portal stones, but
the flicker
implies that you get other worlds when you do the flicker. And how are we going to get to other worlds through the
other versions of So
I don't know. I mean, and I love Flicker because that convinces Grand that's what he has to do.
Yeah.
And that's also what makes Massima into the prophet.
Yes.
It's that moment that pushes him over, because he was really anti-Rand because Rand looks Aiel. And then after that, he was worshiping Rand.
Well, we know we're going to get pretty much this kind of scenes right after Flicker, because in the, when you look at the wrapped video, we obviously see the scene where the Fade is nailed to the wall.
Well, that happens before the Flicker.
I like the idea of
that happens on the way to Kyrian.
But it's after Flicker's up in Kinslayer's Dagger. I thought it was between Kinslayer's Dagger and Kyrian.
Flicker happens when they want to go through Barthanes' banner. They want to go through that Waygate, and they can't because the Black Wind is trying to come out. And he's right there at the doorway. It's right there at the doorway. And then they go to another way gate and they have the same problem. And so Baron is like, well, there's this stone over here that we can use. And I know you know how to use it. And they use a portal stone to get to Falma.
Which
so
is
flickers. There's 2 flickers. Because
there is a flicker.
When they go to that one empty when they're chasing town, and he walks in and the family's having dinner.
Yes, there are 7 flickers, 5 or 7, however many flies there are. That's how many flickers there are.
Yeah. Okay, so there's 2. Yeah.
Right, ElfWitch, am I right? Am I right? Is Jansen the greatest human being on Earth right now?
That did happen right before.
We got everything we need.
Now I understand where you're going because that happened right before the fade. That's like chapter 10. That's at the beginning somewhere of the Great Hunt.
And Uno saw, and also Lanfear was in that scene too.
Yes, the white woman in the window.
Yes,
I think it's hilarious that Uno, the guy with one eye, is the person who sees Lanfear.
Right? Yes.
There's some other time when he's the first person who sees something important or someone important. I love Uno so much.
Yeah.
And here's the one thing I know they don't need it, but I really hope Valen Luca's in it.
Yes, please.
It's just so much comedy, like comic relief that
gold.
And I'm really interested to see Zoe's acting skills when she's the comic relief, because there's so much comedy for her coming up in the later books.
For a long time, Moiraine was my favorite character as I was younger. And then as I got older, I started understanding Nynaeve more. And then how she was like Matt, the things about them that are the same are the things that make those 2 my favorite character. But I'm enough like Nynaeve in ways that like I never would have admitted when I was younger. But I love her comedic.
Oh my god!
I can't wait.
Yes,
I'm married to Nynaeve O'Meara.
Oh, you lucky man!
She carries a stick.
Only she's not yellow Aja, she's gray.
A gray Nynaeve. Oh, I want to
like yellow white with a little bit of.
Does she have like a tracker on your phone so she knows where you're going? Is that what you're telling me?
She's an attorney. And that's what the Grays do. She's actually running for Superior Court judge here in Los Angeles.
Yes, it's unbelievable. Yes. Yes.
So she's Nynaeve O'Meara for sure.
Okay. So
someday, real quick,
bring her to a con, right? Someday.
Well, let's get her
someday you'll bring her with you to a con, right?
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She already goes to Comic-Con with the whole family. We go every year. We went this year. We dressed up differently all 4 days.
Oh, were you at the Wheel of Time Con panel?
I was 10 minutes late to meet Brandon Sanderson, and I had to, because I had kids. I had to take a huge deep breath.
Oh.
Yep.
Not the wall.
And just lactate it out of your nipples. That's what I do when I'm really mad. I just lactate it.
All the lactic acid.
I recommend all men just lactate your anger out of your nipples.
But there were 4 Aes Sedai there.
ElfWitch, you don't know about this?
I don't think I've heard this particular meme. No,
I have not.
It's not a meme. It works. It's a scientifically. There are what Aes Sedai? How many?
4 Aes Sedai dressed up. People dressed up as Aes Sedai with the tear of the flame of Tarvalon on their backs, and it was pretty cool.
Nice. I think one day I might do an Aes Sedai.
Oh, if I'm coming, I'm dressing up no matter what.
Well, if you come to WotCon, there's going to be another costume competition. So
I'll be dressing up no matter what. I figure I'm either going to come as there's always the Ashaman one day, but I want to come as I would love to come as either Uno or somebody like just somebody crazy, like whatever the craziest I could do. I do.
Ealdolman.
Wait, Andrew? Why not Andrew, bro? Come on.
Somebody you're going to know as soon as you see that guy. you know exactly who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna come as Dylan, so be ready. I'm gonna.
There you go.
Yo, that'll be instantaneous. Is that
fabulous?
Nobody's gonna know I'm Dylan until I say.
Okay, so do we know what her house sigil looks like?
Yeah, it's an owl and an oak.
Oh, so see, right? Everyone's smarter than me.
Yeah.
Oh, I might come as.
Yes. Who?
Yeah.
I might come as Roshan, the master of the blade.
Eagle Eye.
Oh.
No, not Rogosh Eagle Eye. Roshan.
Oh, no, Roshan.
Rogosh Eagle Eye. Roshan. Roshan was sitting in the beginning of Avienda's POV. Seven. He was the one with the eyes that Avienda dismissed, and then the very next paragraph said, "I might have died if I wouldn't have." After I saw his eyes, I might have died if I would have not killed him first.
Because he was so good. Yeah.
He put on the glasses. He put on glasses, and that was the first time that Avienda or anybody had ever seen glasses. And
what the? I don't remember. What is happening? I've read this book. Are you making shit up? What is?
Look,
he's wearing fucking glasses. Were they bifocals?
Yes. Rain or Avienda who saw them put them on, and they were glasses.
And Avienda killed him.
He says he puts on some contraption to read his books.
Oh my God! Oh yeah. You should. Oh wow.
Reading his ledgers with glasses.
Okay, so here he is. Roshan is Sumitsu's warder. He had not wanted to be a warder until she decided she wanted him for one. Sumitsu left Roshan in the city when she visited the rebel camp near Karri when the bubble of evil hit. She wished that she hadn't.
Okay, his name isn't Roshan.
So it's a different name.
Yeah, it's whoever was sitting there when Avienda and Elaine and Nynaeve were on the boat.
Yeah.
And it was right before Avienda told them, Matt Cawthon's Tavern. Why aren't we using him to find the bolt?
So, wait a minute. This is book 7, so this is when they're in Abu Dar?
Yes, they're in Abu Dar, and they're on the boat, and they're talking to Nesta.
Oh, Nesta Tin Room, something.
Only Seafolk man in that room, and he's older.
Yes.
And he's the Master of the Blades.
Oh, yes, okay, now that makes sense.
Master of the Blades, yes. Okay.
Now Master of the Blades makes sense. Okay.
Yes, like that, to look at his ledgers.
Got it.
And then he walks out to go get tea for Nesta and tell one of the younger people to come in. That's what he does. That was book 7.
And that's who you want to cosplay?
Well, I could easily put webs on my hands so people could see my hands and see the tattoos.
Yeah. And you got to wear bright.
Jansen, you stick with me, kid. You're going to be so popular. You don't need a costume. So, people are going to be dressing like you.
Here's what I want to know. So then will you wear like a silk shirt that like comes way down so that it's like looks obvious that you can like take it off and you've got this like wide like silk belt like tied around and like pretty bright silk pants or like flowing like puffy pants?
I'm pretty ripped. I have no.
Would you walk around?
Oh no, I'm pretty ripped. Yes, Jansen.
I have been naked on stage. I think I can pull it off.
Yes.
Fabulous.
All right, we don't believe it until we see proof.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Put that in the private chat, Jansen.
I don't disrobe on TV unless my agent tells me it's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you want to get paid for that, definitely.
I do. Like on a drop of a hat. Any charity stream, I'm taking clothes off for money.
Yeah,
This is known. Khaleesi.
Yep, is known. This
All right.
So delightful.
This is great. I'm so stoked on this. Like, this is medicine for me. So I'm so thankful to meet you guys, like, and to know you guys and to be part of this.
You too, and you, ElfWitch.
So fun. My cheeks are hurting.
I know. I'm smiling.
It's great.
No, we're all experiencing. We see the pain. We see it. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna end this stream. We love you so much, everyone who stuck with us, thank you. This is the secret stream after I accidentally, boom, dropped the stream. I dropped the stream. Yeah, that's a first, but may not be the last. Hey, this is the way of the Leaf. You've met Jansen, Lashley-Haynes, you met Zool, DanaLou, and you met ElfWitch. We're all going to run for our lives because that is the way.